Okay, this is Stephen Hornbeek. It is 8/14/2014, and I'm just jumping on the microphone to throw out an idea. I listened to a podcast by a guy named Pat Flynn, and he just goes over a lot of great things on what he tries on the internet and if it works or if it doesn't work, and he kind of shares the results, and he's really open-ended and a great resource for just business and online marketing information. And I'm really hungry for this piece of information. I'm actually creating this video, and I'm hoping to send it out to Mr. Pat Flynn and just get him to look at something that I don't think he's touched upon yet, that I think is a big factor in just creating software and working in the software space. And there was one video, I can't remember the exact number, but I was really close to getting close to the topic, and then they kind of moved off of it. And the whole thing I'm looking at is the Odesk is talked about a lot, and Elance, and these other kind of for hire websites, and I've used them multiple times with no success. So I think technical recruiting is like something that has been addressed but hasn't really been fully constructed, I think, to where it could be a good episode or something that I think the viewers of his kind of media would be hungry for. So just to give an example, I used Odesk 3 or 4 times, and every single time I spent money and didn't even get a product that I was able to launch for multiple reasons. And it actually took me for over $5,000 on 3 different projects, or basically 2 different projects. And I did all the reviews, the stars, I got references. It was, and I gave games. I'm a developer, so I was actually able to construct UI flows and game dynamics and everything that the application needed to be. I even removed features. I guess I'm a seasoned developer by trade with larger corporations, but when you talk about developing software or technical recruiting on a very young level, similar to people that don't have the tens of thousands of dollars to develop something, they only have hundreds to a couple thousand. And so yeah, I think I'd love to find a resource, because I'm almost too timid to go back in, because the first time the product didn't launch for certain reasons, and then the second time I learned from my mistakes from the previous one. Got a different developer. I found a guy in the States that seemed really reasonable, and he confirmed all the specs, and we went through it. We had deliverables and timelines and all of that stuff, and it was just horror stories. Like, he locked me out of the server, and if I didn't pay immediately that day, and we didn't have any time to review the previous week's work, and it just wasn't. It was that type of experience has happened multiple times, where either I'm pushing the developer to finish something, and they're giving me bits and pieces of things that aren't working, or the developer, even if they're trying, it just really seems difficult. And technical recruiting is something I've failed at, and I have a handful of software ideas that I'd like to develop and get out there, but each time I step into the field, more money goes out and nothing comes back in, because I'm left with a half-completed product, and running out of funds. Because really, it's developers at the really low scale of $5 to $10 to even $20. Like, that's the work can't be that good, I guess, because developers that are going for large corporations go for much higher. And so I feel like it's in their best interest to keep the project going, knowing that they're working with somebody that's not technical. Also, I noticed, since the budgets are so small for some of these bigger ideas, they don't have the drive to get it done, because it's just so overwhelming. But even when I allowed them to name the initial price, because a lot of times I put out the price and I'll just leave it open and just see what it comes back, and it still picks something right in the middle with the best reviews, and it's failed me. So I love your advice. Maybe if you got to this point, it's a great talk show, great information, and just wanted to throw this one your way. So technical recruiting, if you can take a look into that, I think the Smart Passive Income fans would really enjoy it. All right. Thank you so much, Pat, and hope you get this. Okay.